Hi, welcome to the Girl at a Bar channel and the podcast intro. I'm Tracy Mulholland. If you're on the Girl at a Bar YouTube channel, you might have already checked out the scripted short form series. If not, head on over and check that out. This podcast portion is an offshoot of the series, and it is inspired by my experience going to bars alone once a week for a year and my journey with chronic Lyme disease. So the origin of Girl at a Bar was over a decade ago, working as an actor and writer in Los Angeles. I found myself nervous about going out and doing things alone. I felt like I needed a friend in order to go to a movie, a party, a concert. And if I couldn't find someone to go with me, or if someone canceled last minute, I wouldn't go. I would stay home. For me, that moment of walking into a place alone was really uncomfortable, and it was more comfortable staying at home on my couch. But then I missed out on all of these things that I really did want to do, exploring my city, meeting new people professionally, personally, and having new experiences. So one night I decided to force myself to get out of my comfort zone and go out. So I went to what was easy and open, the bar down the street, and I made myself stay for 90 minutes minimum, and I couldn't look at my phone. I had to be totally present. After this night, I decided to continue this and make myself go out once a week to a new bar each week for a year. I had the same rules, stay for 90 minutes, be off of my phone. I could have it, but I couldn't look at it, and I could drink or not drink. Each month was a different theme of bars, so sports bars or dive bars or bars with animals in their name, which was my favorite theme. I wrote a blog about it and had some interesting stories and adventures, but mainly I did the thing that I said I was going to do, and I engaged more with the world and myself. Fast forward a year later, I started having some physical health issues. I had debilitating nerve pain in my arms. I started sleeping 14, 16 hours a day and couldn't finish sentences. Now we call that brain fog. We did a whole battery of tests and came up with nothing. So spent about 2 years being very unwell and then finally got diagnosed with Lyme disease, of which I started treatment for several years. I didn't leave the house for much of this time except for doctor's appointments, was living a very sedentary lifestyle and managing my symptoms as best as I could. Obviously, this was a very stark contrast to my life and my social life before. As I started making improvements in my health and bringing back some social things slowly, I realized that I wanted to revisit Girl at a Bar and see what it felt like to engage with the world after I had gone through this profound period, almost half a decade of being chronically ill. This time, which was right before COVID, it looked a little bit different. I didn't stay out as late, I didn't drink as much, and I didn't do it for a whole year. But I used it as a way to navigate who I was after having been severely disabled and also still actively managing symptoms from a chronic illness. I wanted to put this story on the screen, so that's what inspired the scripted series, which I hope you will check out. I wanted to raise awareness for Lyme and other chronic and invisible illnesses that are rarely seen on screen. So the podcast portion of Girl at a Bar is having my guests go out for a night alone, and then we talk about their night. They have the same rules. They have to stay for 90 minutes, and they can't look at their phone, which I would say is even harder these days, and they can drink or not drink. My guests are cast members from the show, people in the Lyme and chronic and invisible illness community, and friends and network beyond that throughout the country and the world who wanted to do this for all sorts of reasons, to break out of their shell, to get out of the house, to have a break from their young kids. If people have gone through a transition time like a breakup or a divorce, or they were taking care of a loved one or going through grief, or just to mix things up and see how this experience got them out of their comfort zone. And then how maybe can they get out of their comfort zone in another way in their life. So I hope you will check out the Girl at a Bar scripted series on the YouTube channel and check out the video episodes of the podcast there as well. The first podcast episode is available, and you can listen to the audio versions wherever podcasts are. Please subscribe and share, and let me know if this inspired you to get out and do something that you've been wanting to do. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining us for this episode. Be sure to subscribe to the Girl at a Bar channel on YouTube to see video episodes of the podcast and watch the Girl at a Bar scripted series. Thanks to Andrew Hollander for producing the song, Something I Can't Rearrange. You can check out the full version on all music platforms. Please visit girlatabar.com and bayarealyme.org for resources on Lyme disease.